How to build a website with WebEasy Professional 8, Part 2. Now that we have our basic website put together with the Website Assistant, let's start editing our text in more detail. Editing text is as simple as finding the text that we want to change and double-clicking on it. Notice how the box around the text turned white. This means we are now in edit mode. While in edit mode, we can either add or delete any text within this white box. Let's delete the current content the same way we did in the Website Assistant by highlighting everything in this text field and begin typing the new text. Since this is a music site, let's type in the phrase discount CDs. Once we have the new text in place, we can move on to editing the text font, style, size, color, and effects. Before we can do this, we need to click anywhere outside the white box to exit the edit mode. Now we will need to single-click on the text field to enter object mode. Little squares, also known as handles, will appear around the text, letting us know that it has been selected and is in object mode. Please note that if you are still in edit mode, meaning the text box is still highlighted white, the following steps will not work. With that being said, we now want to open the Edit taskbar on the left-hand side of the screen and click the button labeled Text. This will put all the text editing tools in our toolbar located just above the workspace. Let's start by clicking on the Font button, which will open the Font dialog box, allowing us to select a font, style, size, color, and basic effects. During all the following steps, we can preview all of our changes instantly by looking at the sample window located below. Let's go to the upper left-hand corner of this dialog box and select a font for our text. The font we will be looking for is called Arial Rounded MT Bold. There are two different ways to find the font in this dialog box. We can scroll through the font names with the scroll bar on the right-hand side, or we can type the name into the text field at the top. Since we know which font to look for, let's start by typing in the name. Notice how the visible selection of fonts changes below. This basically works like a search feature. This will speed things up significantly because we won't have to type in the full font name every time we want to use it. Once the font of choice becomes visible, simply click the font name to select it. The next font option is the font style. WebEasy provides 4 different styles: regular, italic, bold, and bold italic. We will be selecting the bold italic style. Now let's increase the font size to 45. Let's scroll through the available options to select this font size. When we scroll through the list, we will notice that the size we are looking for isn't listed. This is because WebEasy only lists the most common sizes. We can still select size 45, but we have to type it in manually. Moving on to the effects section, we can add strikeout and/or underline to the text. In this case, we will leave these turned off and move on to changing the font color. If we click the drop-down arrow, we are provided with a selection of basic colors to choose from. Let's go ahead and choose white by left-clicking on it. The last font option we have is called Script. The script changes specific characters and letters based on which language is being used on our website. Since we will only build websites in English during these tutorials, we should always use the Western script. Some fonts only have one script, and that script may not be the Western style, so please choose your font carefully. Now that we have made sure we are using the Western script, we can click OK to apply all of the changes we just made. Since the font was increased by such a large amount, it has created a slight problem. The text is so big that it doesn't fit in the text field anymore. There are 2 ways to address this. We can either reduce the size of the font, or we can adjust the size of the text field. Since we already know how to change the font size, let's enlarge the text field instead. This is where the 8 handles surrounding the text will come into play. When our cursor is over any one of these handles, we can click and drag to shrink or enlarge the text field. The 4 corner handles adjust both height and width simultaneously, while the other 4 handles adjust height and width individually. Let's increase the width by dragging the handle on the right side. We can achieve the same outcome by dragging the handle on the left side. We should always leave some extra room around the actual text because most web browsers allow the user to increase the font size for better visibility. If someone visits your page and has a larger font setting, their browser will enlarge the font size and possibly cut some of the text off, making your page hard to read. This doesn't always happen, but it's better to play it safe.